Whack-a-mole number 104. Random pulls. If you're new to Whack-a-mole, if you're one of the new subscribers, this is where I randomly pull 5 records from my record collection. Occasionally, I have guests and we just kind of hang out for a while, but this is the genuine, original, OG style of Whack-a-mole. 5 from my collection. If you've seen my record library video, you'll know where and what the collection is about here, the record library. So, without further ado, 5 random picks. I'll pick one, actually 3 from that wall. I'll pick one from this wall, which is Beatles and jazz. And I'll pick one from below there, where it goes from S to Z and world music. One, 2, 3. Put them here. I just want to make sure you see. Well, you don't see. I don't cheat. I'm not looking, but I have to reach down. Oh, one there. And how about a jazz record? Okay. Oh, come on. Marianne Faithfull once said, "The Rolling Stones don't do psychedelic very well. The Beatles do psychedelic well. The Rolling Stones don't." I'm sort of paraphrasing, but I love that the Rolling Stones followed up a few months after the Beatles put out Sgt. Pepper in June of 1967, at the end of the year with Satanity's Majestic, whatever it's recalled, their Satanic Majesty's Request. Cover photograph by Michael Cooper. Michael Cooper took the cover of the Peter Blake design cover for Sgt. Pepper as well. The Beatles thank the Stones on the cover. The Stones sort of thank the Beatles. The 4 Beatles are embedded in the original lenticular cover. When I was, 13 when this came out, I didn't know what the fuck lenticular meant. But this is an amazing record. You know why? Because there's a maze. I used to play this maze. I used to draw mazes when I was a kid. So I like this record. I think, She's a Rainbow is an incredible single, great pop single. It would have been cool if We Love You with the Beatles in the background there, the single, was on this record. That would have been kind of fun. Would have made it even more Beatlesque. Sing Us All Together, See What Happens, The Lantern, Gomper, 2,000 Light Years From Home. I like the random psychedelic. Some might say this is more psychedelic than Sgt. Pepper. One might say. Now, this copy, how original. Is this, okay, this is a stereo copy, but okay, this is on the Dead Wax ZAL. I forgot the other one. There are some that say stereo here, but if the Dead Wax is not ZAL, I forgot what the other initial is, mono. So you definitely should seek out and keep an eye out for a mono copy on this, which is friggin' fantastic. So the Rolling Stones, 1967, their Satanic Majesty's Request. My copy on London Records. Okay. A very, very, very favorite band of mine, the Jayhawks. I've seen them many times, and if you look at channels from my friend Chris, The Long Cut, and John Digital Gramophone, they're all about the whole Wilco clique, Uncle Tupelo clique, Jayhawks clique ad nauseum, that whole Americana stuff. I like this record. Interesting in a way, though. It was produced by Bob Ezrin. Bob Ezrin, who worked with, did The Wall with Pink Floyd. Basically started he's brought in to commercialize people. I go yes and no with The Wall. I think it's sort of overblowed. I think it overblowed. It could have been a single record. That's just me. Pink Floyd's The Wall. This is a good record, Smile. I like pretty much everything they do and are more interesting than not. And I love that they were the band that Ray Davies, famous of the Kinks, picked for his Americana, the 2 records. In fact, I can show you extra shit. Americana Act 1s and 2s. There's some talking on here, but these are beautiful records. 2 records by Ray Davies, part 1 and part 2. And it is pronounced Ray Davies, so don't start getting all wanky on me and wonky on me and put in the comments that it's Davies. I know it's pronounced that way, but they pronounce it Ray Davies. Jayhawks backing him on these records. So that's like a bonus whack. This is my original UK edition, I believe. Is it? Yeah, it is. UK. A favorite power pop album, one of the all-time great power pops album, Labor of Lust. Nick Lowe, the great Nick Lowe, who was in Brinsley Schwartz and who produced Elvis Costello and wrote What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding. This is an original copy of Nick Lowe. I like his even more mature ballad albums these days. A great label on that. This is Radar Records, I believe. And, of course, it has, is it cracking up on here? Cruel to Be Kind. Cruel to Be Kind has got to be one of the great all-time power pop records of all time. So great bass player, great producer. Produced The Damned, the first Damned record, the whole English pub and then punk scene, and I've seen him several times over the years. I saw the great album Rockpile. Rockpile was the first concert I saw literally 4 or 5 days after John Lennon was tragically assassinated, and the first band I saw at the Warfield Theater, Dave Edmunds and Nick Lowe, was Rockpile, which is also a great record. So Nick Lowe. One of the Geffen Calamity records, which actually is not one of the bad ones, but it's not one of the great ones either. This is Neil Young, Crazy Horse, Life. Geffen Records, Tempestuous. I mean, he did some crazy ass shit when he was on, Transformer, or was it Transformer? Is that what it's called? The electronic record, and the one with the blue notes and the 50s rockabilly kind of record, and I think he was just like fucking with David Geffen here, This, there's some, I don't love this record. Long Walk Home is okay. Produced by David Briggs and Neil Young. I don't know much to say about this record because I don't listen to this record a lot. I think this was the period when I was getting promos from my friend at WEA, which is Warner Electroatlantic, and Geffen was a part of that. So Neil Young, not one of his top tier records, but I'm a big Neil Young fan, so it's in the collection. And finally, Herbie Hancock Sextant. This is from 1973. This is when Herbie Hancock is fully entrenched in his electronic period, synthesizers. Obviously, before he really hit with the Rocket, that was that in the 80s? I guess that's in the 80s when MTV days. But he was doing some spacey stuff. Obviously, Miles had done Bitches Brew, the Fillmore East stuff, and then On the Corner was at 73, 74. But these jazz artists were either going in a real poppy direction. Remember, on the smooth side, he got huge hit with, was that 75-ish or so, with George Benson doing Breeze and My Masquerade, the song written by Leon Russell. But this is a spacey album. It's really a cool electronic album with, actually, a friend of mine plays on this and introduced and really helped Herbie Hancock get involved playing the synthesizers, Moogs, and different kind of synthesizers, ARP synthesizers, and that's Pat Gleason. Here it's Dr. Patrick Gleason, the Professor Patrick Gleason. I knew Patrick because he used to own a recording studio in San Francisco in the Mission District called Different Fur Recording Studio. He did some production, but mostly he did sound. He did some of his own records, but mostly he did some television and film score work. He worked on this soundtrack, on this thing, and got Herbie into programming ARP synthesizers and some really wild stuff. He's also, think about Pat Gleason, Dr. Patrick Gleason. He lives in LA now, but he lived in San Francisco, and his ex-wife is my son's godmother. His ex-wife was Joan Genrino, cellist who used to be in the Kronos Quartet. Small world, isn't it? He also worked on the synthesizer parts on the soundtrack to Apocalypse Now, and the helicopter sounds with Bernie Krause from Beaver and Krause Electronics, the Moog synthesizer stuff. So he's really entrenched in there. Interesting keyboard artist. I think he did an album of, he did one of the classical records. Is it The Planets? Not The Planets. One synthesizer classical record. I forgot what it was. But interesting. I haven't seen him in about 3 or 4 years, Pat Gleason. But that's my connection to this. Who also on it? Benny Maupin, obviously playing soprano sax, who played with Miles, and Patrick Gleason as well. And kind of a cool record. But pretty out there. Recorded at Wally Hyder's and Different Fur. So we recorded part of it at Pat Gleason's studio there. I didn't realize that. So that's the whack-a-mole. That's how whack-a-moles work. And nothing really offbeat this time, but that's how it goes. It's all random, nothing planned. Enjoy it. Mazzy loves you. Play some records. I think I'm going to go play this on. I think I want something a little kind of out there right now and just blast this because I'm alone in the house right now. So take care. Mazzy loves you.